Okay, I gotta make this really quick. I did 1 minute, one video. I've actually tried this twice. The last video went 35 minutes, and I'm like, that's too long. But okay, we had one. We have Bumblebee story with Bumblebee, and we realized, especially by Return of the Rise of the Beasts, that there's still no Megatron. So I say the third movie needs to be about Megatron. The Autobots' plight was that they're stranded on Earth, which is what the Beast War, the Maximals felt like, because there were a lot of Gilligan Island references in the old 95, 96 TV show. And they kind of did that with Rise of the Beast with the Autobots. And the Maximals were kind of, homesick also. So they're all stuck on Earth. Let's say we go a few years into the future, past Rise of the Beasts. Maybe the Maximals don't have a whole lot of presence. Maybe bring in one of them, maybe Cheetor, or maybe Rhinox. Actually, give him some speaking lines, and let the others just be in the background and maybe not really be very prominent. Focus more on the Autobots, or actually less on the Autobots. More Megatron. I think this third movie needs to be about Megatron. Start off with people's videos going viral because they're seeing a ship out in the ocean hiding among storm clouds, harnessing lightning. Sound familiar? Any of y'all watch Secure Team 10 with Tyler? And where this could harken to stuff that we kind of see sometimes. Videos floating around on the internet of something similar. But it's Megatron's ship. He finally made it to Earth. He's been searching for Optimus Prime. He wants to destroy Optimus Prime. And that's his really goal. He does have some Decepticons, but the only ones we see are like maybe Starscream, Thundercracker, maybe a Conehead, Soundwave, and his 2 cassettes. And let's throw in Vortex for good measure, and maybe Scrapper for good measure. You see one, you have to imply the others. Have them look very G1-ish, maybe like the beginning of the Bumblebee movie, please. But, a little more than a handful of Decepticons. Let's start off the movie with all these viral videos, and then someone shoots down the Decepticon ship in the middle of the ocean. It falls into the ocean. Megatron gets the brunt of the blast. He wants to know who shot his ship down. Well, everything is going to underwater basket weaving in a going to hell in a underwater weaving basket. Megatron gets out of the ship, but he's damaged. He got the brunt of the blast, and the lightning was the only thing really keeping their ship going in the air. Maybe their cloaking device wasn't working, or shields or anything like that, and so they were ended up being sane. People are like, oh my gosh, aliens are here, aliens are here, as a result. And Megatron goes through the water. He gets to the shore, and he comes across these mountains, and he's going where that missile came from, or the missiles or whatever that shot his ship down. He gets there. He finds the front of some sort of base or something there. He doesn't know what these people are, what they're doing, what their intentions are, but they're like, okay, we want to make a deal with you. We saw you. We blew your ship out of the sky, and we want to. We will fix you if you will trade some of your technological secrets. And of course, Megatron. Maybe he squashes somebody or something. I don't know. But then he decides to let them do it. It's like, they can repair me. I'll let them repair me. And he knows they are going to double cross him and steal some of his physical parts of his original physical frame, while also repairing him, and he turns into a tank now as opposed to whatever he used to turn into. So he turns into a tank. In return, he blasts their base and leaves. But he doesn't. He knows he didn't kill them all. He just knows he damaged them pretty bad and had enough energon to transform into bot mode and fly out of there. Okay, because he's just not going to roll like a tank forever. Oh boy, So he transforms to bot mode. He flies away. In the meantime, we have Starscream, Soundwave, Thunder, maybe Thundercracker, maybe Ramjet, like I said, a Vortex and Scrapper, are left in the Decepticon ship underwater. And they realize they're in trouble. They got to start repairs. As a result of the keys Transformer eyes only can see, which is kind of reminiscent of the '07 movie when Optimus was calling all the Autobots, it's safe to come down, kind of thing. We have more Autobots. We have Cup, we have Springer, we have Hot Rod now. So the first Rise of the Beast brought in RC and Maximals. Let's say maybe only the one Maximal is there at the base. Noah is the advisor with G.I. Joe. Sorry, spoiler alert. And maybe they're helping save people in distress, saving people in with fire buildings, maybe trying to help with the crime element, bringing it down, gaining trust of people because, hey, we're bigger than you, we can help you, etc. When people are in trouble, they call them, they come help. So maybe they know about, maybe not completely G.I. Joe, but maybe G.I. Joe and the Autobots together. Maybe this alliance has now happened as a result of Optimus gaining his trust with people from the last movie, which also seems to align with that continuity. So okay. I'm looking at my notes right. Maybe I should hit pause. But that's right. And Megatron is going back to his base. He's now fixed. But he's still on his one set mind of wanting to destroy Optimus. So maybe he finds an Autobot signature nearby. Maybe he is in South America. I don't know. Let's say he finds Wheeljack, who maybe now has corrected his head, looks like his more G1 self instead of Donatello Turtle of a Michael Bay movie. And he's like, where's Optimus? Where is he? I will get him or something. And Wheeljack refuses. He keeps damaging Wheeljack and taking off an arm, taking off a leg, whatever, maybe Monty Python-esque style, but very serious and very scary all at the same time. And at last minute, Wheeljack does send a distress call to the Autobots. And Megatron is like, that's all I needed. And just destroys Wheeljack and he's gone. In the meantime, the Autobots do get his signal. It ends and they're like, well, maybe he needed us but didn't need anything. So, or maybe they send someone off to go check on Wheeljack. Maybe Noah and Mirage or something. I don't know. But, so, Noah may not have a big presence here. But we need to see him again. We need to see Noah's character again. In the meantime, let's go in this direction. Where, let me make sure, because I'm trying to keep my continuity in the story a little bit, because I just have some notes here, very vague, where the Decepticons are awake. They have waterproofed the ship now to where it's somewhat livable for them underwater and with pressure and everything else because they have the technology to do it. And now they need some more material. So Starscream, who is now taking leadership responsibilities, maybe have a skiff with Soundwave to do it. And Soundwave just backs off and lets Starscream be leader. Starscream is like, okay, we're going here, and it's a oil rig in the middle of the ocean because they are in the ocean, so it may not be that far away for them. Okay, and what we're doing is almost recreating an image from G1 cartoon with a battle on an oil rig. This is the Decepticons entrance. This is the Decepticons story. This is a movie for Megatron. So the Decepticons make it to the oil rig. Now that maybe we have seen maybe the Autobots help out, maybe not always kill people exactly, but maybe push elements of criminal intent away, whether maybe it's guerrilla warfare or drugs or something on the streets or just helping people in need. And they're actually, people are like, wow, these may be aliens or something, but they're helping us. They're on our side. And they understand that because the G.I. Joe team, which should be USA-centric and help unify the country, which would be nice, but I really doubt we would see that because of the last G.I. Joe movies. But, you never know. It would be really cool. Have the flying under the American banner, American way, good for all, helping everybody, whatever. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are, whatever. And being them as diverse as they were, and maybe see a few characters of the Joes, maybe not always, because this is a Transformer movie after all, but it would still be a very exposition-ish movie as a whole. Maybe not a whole lot of plot. In the meantime, let's get back to the oil rig. The Decepticons get there. The people at the oil rig are, oh my gosh, we actually have to call the Joes. They send the Autobots. For the most part. And so it's going to be Cup, Springer, Hot Rod, maybe Stratosphere, maybe Stratosphere took somebody to Peru to go help Wheeljack, or maybe it's Cheetor. Maybe they all climbed into Springer's helicopter mode, and Springer's the one that takes them there, as well as Optimus Prime. So Optimus Prime is with them also. So say they send those 5 Autobots: Optimus, Cup, Springer, Hot Rod, and Cheetor. Some odd ragtag kind of team, and they're all there to help. And maybe RC and Mirage and Noah are helping people or going somewhere else. Maybe they're checking on Wheeljack, maybe to eventually find out later in the movie, well, Wheeljack's gone. He's just in pieces, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a big battle at the oil rig going on. It's not destroyed, it's damaged. There's fires. Maybe they have the Autobots try to help put out fires, saving people from sharks down below, etc. Maybe see a couple of the Sprint Cup, Hot Rod, whoever, punching sharks in the nose, or something kind of silly, to keep the sharks away from eating people, saving people. Maybe see them jump, shortly fly out of the water and saving people, fighting Decepticons, etc., etc. And then Megatron, through the help of the signal of Wheeljack, somehow using Transformer technology, maybe he hears the call for help at the oil rig. They're looking for Autobots, G.I. Joe, help us out, whatever. And Megatron hears that. He goes, that's where they're going. He goes there also. He sees the battle. He's cursing at his own Decepticons. How dare they do this? And so he does have his one. He's at least happy. Here's Prime. This is my chance. They have a huge battle. Both are badly damaged. Maybe in Optimus Prime's last strength, he knocks Megatron down into the water, and they're both really badly damaged. As a result of Megatron falling in the water and disappearing, he's actually being beamed out and summoned by Unicron at the same time. The Decepticons flee. They think they might have a victory. Maybe they've taken some material to go back with them to help do final repairs on their spaceship, etc., etc. Optimus hands the Matrix over to Springer. He doesn't change. He's just still Springer. but it gives him an ego because now he thinks he's the leader of the Autobots. He thinks he's the strongest. He doesn't know how to lead. So Ultra Magnus is nowhere in the story. Okay? This is more Megatron-centric, having Megatron show up, get turned into a tank, damaged and turned to a tank. Damaged and getting summoned by Megatron, who's also going to turn him into Galvatron. He's now destroyed Wheeljack. He's destroyed maybe another Autobot at the oil rig. He's destroyed Optimus Prime. Yeah. So we are seeing Megatron destroying Autobots in his wake while also getting damaged and also changed into being fixed every time. So he always comes back. It should always be hard to kill a Transformer. I'm sorry, live action writers. It should always be hard to kill a Transformer. So, say Stratosphere or Springer, whoever, gets them all back to the base at the Joe base or something, and one last help comes back up from the beacon of the last movie, and it's a Wreck-Gar or a Junkion. Let's say it's Wreck-Gar. Let's say he fixes Destroyed Cup. Or maybe Hot Rod helps fix Destroyed Cup. Wreck-Gar helps fix maybe another Autobot. Maybe Cheetor got hurt, and he fixes Cheetor. He helps Hot Rod fix Cup or something. And they're like, please put Optimus together. He puts Optimus back together, nothing happens. And they're like, well, we don't understand. Well, Springer with his ego doesn't want to relinquish the Matrix. And Hot Rod is like, the Matrix, I bet, can bring him back. And Springer, just looks at a Hot Rod to shut up. I'm not giving up the Matrix kind of attitude. Because now him having the Matrix is going to his head. And so in the meantime, into the movie ends, we go back to Megatron, who has been summoned by Unicron, who, again, at near death, has to make this deal with Unicron, who's like, I'm going to give you a new mission. But in order for you to do this new mission, your physical frame is too far damaged in order to do this. So I'm going to change you and reformat you, and maybe Megatron can groan. He's probably like thinking, not again. I don't want to be changed. I don't want to be reformed. I do not want to be... I am Megatron. You can't take Megatron from me, for I am whatever. And, make it a little different from the 86 movie while at the same time giving it a huge tribute. Excuse me. And then eventually he realizes if he wants to survive, if he wants to make sure his Decepticons thrive on Earth and steal its resources or whatever, or complete whatever Unicron's mission is, which is not revealed. He turns him into Galvatron, which can turn into like a space cannon thing. Not a gun, but a cannon. The cannon part, mainly. And he can still fly in bot mode. And then he changes Megatron into Galvatron. Galvatron shows back up from that, like they were doing in the last movie with Scourge kind of mentally having these conversations with Unicron. Oh, crap. He shows back up like that, back into the Decepticon ship. The Decepticons are freaking out. Starscream is freaking out. They don't know who it is. And Galvatron says, I've had your insolence for the last time. I've had your insolence for the last time, Starscream. Of course, it would be in his Galvatron voice. And, you ruined our disguise and have exposed us to the people of this world. And he transforms into a space cannon and just blows Starscream to ashes, which would be just another tribute. So we get to see Starscream, finally. We see Starscream be leader for a short time and get, again, blown up by Galvatron. Wash, rinse, repeat. And Galvatron tells his Decepticons, we have a new mission now. That's Megatron, I'm sorry. But, and then they're, kind of end it with All Live Galvatron or something to that effect. While in the meantime, Springer is left with the Matrix as the new leader of the Autobots, and he's an arrogant SOB. And the Joes have to put up with it. And the Autobots have to put up with it. And Prime can't be fixed. And they find out Wheeljack is also dead, etc. So it could be a very empire, and that's kind of what they were wanting to do with the end of Rise of the Beasts, was have Prime actually get sucked up, go to Unicron, and leave it at that. But the test audiences didn't like it. But I think this would be a better way of doing it, to geek out the fandom a little bit, even though it's in a new universe, this new live-action Transformer stuff. And it seems very fitting. It would really bring in the Decepticons, bring in Megatron, really make it more Megatron-centric to him being the new villain, taken over from Scourge, who was an excellent villain in the last movie. So Megatron comes in, takes names, destroys, gets turned into a tank, takes down Optimus Prime, and gets turned into Galvatron after being summoned by Unicron. It just seems very fitting. It seems to work. Would it happen? Probably not. But that's my idea for this. And maybe at the very end, finally see a lot of the Beast War characters that we saw actually all show up, and maybe have a true vigil or some sort of funeral pyre or something for Optimus Prime. And Optimus Primal shows back up. Cheetor, Rhinox, and all of them are actually in their bot modes for a change. Not afraid of the Energon, stable Energon on Earth now. To where maybe they don't have the PTSD they seem to have in Rise of the Beasts for being in their robot forms hardly at all. Which is what I kind of attribute that to. So, what do you think? It's just a theory. I'm just putting it out on the table. I like this. We need a Megatron movie. This would be a wonderful way to bring him in here, to bring in Cobra, to bring in G.I. Joe, which, I'm sorry, as a huge spoiler for the Rise of the Beast movie, to exposition them to their movie that could follow after this, etc., etc. I like it. I think, and I've been thinking about this for a couple of days, and I wrote a lot of this down, passing the Matrix off to Springer. Maybe they're like, realize, wow, the Matrix of leadership? Where did this come from? And actually have the Autobots surprised, just like they were in 86. They're like, well, we don't know what this is. He gives it off to Springer. Springer doesn't do anything. He's still just Springer, just like Ultra Magnus. But there is no Ultra Magnus in this movie. But at least we would have some of the Autobots from the movie that are in here. They already gave us RC in Rise of the Beasts, and now we could bring in Cup, Springer, and Hot Rod. At the very end, bring in a Wreck-Gar to come in, bumbling in, and being able to maybe fix a couple of the Autobots that Megatron destroyed. But he just doesn't know how to fix Optimus because the spark isn't there. It's already gone into the Matrix, and Springer isn't going to relinquish it. What a twist. I like that. While in the meantime, Galvatron has really gotten a plan going, and he's got 2 combiner teams behind him to boot. Ideas. I like this. What do y'all think? Doubt this would ever happen. But it's starting to feel a little more like Transformers, a little more like mixture of Beast Wars, and more G1-ish than anything. Now that the Decepticons are truly here, because we just don't have that yet. And I feel like after, 2 movies, the Decepticons truly need to show up like they were first seen at the beginning of Bumblebee. This is their time. This should be their intro to not just Decepticons and how villainous they can be and how backstabbing Starscream can be. Give him shine in the limelight and have Galvatron come back and blow him out of the water, just like he did in the 86 movie. Mirroring a lot of things while at the same time keeping it fresh with a couple of little twists. Bring in Noah, maybe even Elena, and have them mourn Optimus Prime. Maybe even Haley What's-Her-Face from the Bumblebee movie even. But she didn't really know Optimus. She knew Bumblebee. Things to think about. And I didn't even mention Bumblebee at all hardly in this. So, I don't know. It just a theory, just my ideas. Let me know what y'all think. Just throwing this around, and I really like it. It would be, if I had the time to write instead of the art I'm doing, I could probably write a cool fanfic or a possible movie script or something along these lines. I don't write very well, but I like tossing out ideas. Let me know in the comments. We'll see you next time. I got to get back to work. And as always, Autobots flip out and let Autobots transform and let's roll.